Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again, and this time we're going to look at game number 15 in our 20 from 1989 series, and this is the longest wait that I can think of between a first game and its sequel, and the original game was Monaco GP, and this is Super Monaco GP, and Monaco GP was released in 1979 by Sega, and this was released, of course, in 1989 by Sega, and there are so many different cabinets for this game, including a two-player link upright cabinet or a cockpit cabinet. But this has your gas brake, gear shift, and steering wheel controls. And I'd never seen this in arcades, but I definitely started hearing about it when there were a bunch of classic game compilation discs that were coming out for early Windows, and we had the Namco compilation one, but I would start hearing about Super Monaco GP at around that time. I had seen the original one, and it was totally different from this. It was just an overhead racing game, and this is obviously much more interesting looking. This had pretty awesome graphics, very good racer. It had some very unique dynamics to it that a number of other racers at the time did not have. One in particular is that you can choose to have up to 7 gear shift transmission. There's automatic transmission you can select. There's 4-speed transmission you can select, or there's 7-speed transmission that you can select. And you just use up or down on the gear shift on the control panel to change between those gears. And we're going to go with automatic. Now, something else that was kind of unique in this game was that you have to use the brakes sometimes on those tight turns. On a number of racing games, you can just let off the gas. Nah, not really on this one. Excuse me. See, yeah, the really tight turns, you'll want to at least tap the brake a little bit. The graphics are generally pretty smooth. They falter a bit if you slam into something. If you slam into a wall, it looks a little funky. If you can spin out in place, and if you do, then it looks really funky. But that's kind of what it would really like if you were spinning in place. Now you start out with a qualifying lap, and you are timed on that one. Now your next course, which plays the full course. If you do the qualifying lap, you only play half the course. The next race plays the whole course, and you are not timed here. You were timed on the qualifying lap. You are not timed here, but if you look at the top center, it shows the lowest position that you can get in the race. And just below that is your current position. If you exceed that top number, your game will automatically end. You cannot get to a position lower than that top number. There will be 2 checkpoints, and each time you pass a checkpoint, that top number will change. So that increases, whoops, I spun in place. That'll definitely cost you a position or more. Oops, now I'm close to the top number. Don't want to don't want to exceed that top number, or your game will end. It's flashing because, you can't lose any more positions, or your game is over. And now I'm on the second lap out of 3. So you pass those 2 checkpoints. Ah, crap, I'm screwed. Yep. Dang it. Well, that is my game of Super Monaco GP. you do get a score, but it's very, very, very low. And it's called a driver's score, or driver's points. I didn't get high enough to get on the list. Now I'm going to complete the final lap of this second race. And I put on a cheat. You see the bottom number flashing. I will always be considered first place, no matter what. And other racers can crash and burn or fly through the air because they got nailed. The same thing can happen to you. You can crash and burn, and you can crash enough so that your game will automatically end, and we'll look at that later on. But we'll see me complete the third lap. There will be a checkpoint in the tunnel, and there will be a checkpoint on the outside. But yeah, once you complete the 3 laps fully, then you will move on to one final race, and it is going to be the same track, the same course, but it'll be wet, and you'll have less control. And we'll get to that in just a little bit. We'll see me complete this course here. When I ended up getting a Sega CD, one of the games was a Sega compilation collection, and Super Monaco GP was on that. Yeah, like I said, I'd never seen this in arcades, but I definitely started hearing about it somewhere in the 90s when there were compilations of Sega's greatest hits or Namco's greatest hits or whatever. And on the early Windows variation that we had at my folks' house, we had a Namco compilation, and I would play a lot of Dig Dug because that's my all-time favorite game. I like that there's a little prompt to tell you how far away you are from first place, the first place car. And here's what it looks like when you make first place. Yeah, now the conditions change. It's wet, so it's harder to control. But yeah, in the qualifying lap, you get timed. And if you fail to get across the finish line in time, it's really hard to screw up that badly. The qualifying lap is really easy. You do not have to place very high at all. Hell, you can place like, I think 16th or 17th or something at the lowest, and you'll still be able to go to the next race. But if you fail to make it across in time, and you have 45 seconds, then you will get a message that says "did not qualify" and your game will end. And we'll look at that a little bit later. This really is pretty cool. At first I was playing this and I was like, I don't know. But I had to put out of my mind like Daytona USA and a whole bunch of awesome racers that came way later. So for 1989, this actually is pretty cool. Yeah, the racing games would really explode in the 90s in the arcades. They were so awesome. And here is me getting first place at the conclusion of the third race. And you will get this ending here. And I will get it put in my initials. Yeah, again, there's driver's points. There's not your typical score from these racing games. And it's not very many points, but it's determined by like your speed, maybe how well you took corners, or stuff like that. But that is Super Monaco GP, created by Sega in 1989. And the map for the course. It looks like a laser gun, I think. And we'll be able to look at it again in a minute. See, there it is. Doesn't it kind of look like a laser gun or a futuristic photon pistol or something? At any rate, Super Monaco GP is basically 3 races. One is just a qualifying lap, and that's just half of the course. And then the next race is a full-on race. And we're just going to take a quick look at the different gear shifts. We already saw the automatic transmission, and then we saw the 4-speed during the last attract mode. And this is the 7-speed, and you just push up or down on the gear shift to change between those gears. And the second and third races do not have a timer like the qualifying lap does, but you just can't fall below a certain number of car positions, or your game will automatically end. And we're going to look at me. I think, I did not qualify in the qualifying lap, and that's the screen you get. At least you get a busty lady. But now we will look at me, I think, crash and burn. Yeah, you can crash and burn, and that'll automatically end your game. I put on a cheat that gives me full speed automatically. Look how fast I go. It's ridiculous. That's more than full speed. And so I will try to crash into things. And you move so fast that it looks like you went through a wall initially. Well, we will do that in a moment. That was me passing the qualifying lap. And now we will go to the race, or the actual the first full course here. And I will slam into walls and stuff. And my game will end. Well, that was Super Monaco GP. It was created by Sega in 1989. It was game number 15 in our 25th 1989 series. First sequel to Monaco GP 10 years earlier. This is Crazy Climber Ace. Thanks for watching. I hope you join me soon for game number 14. Bye-bye, folks.